Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we've got a very good reason as to why you should not shop on Amazon when you are tired or half asleep. It's just not a good idea, because I recently was kind of half asleep looking around at Amazon, just like trying to fall asleep, and I remember stumbling upon these and thinking, well, that's interesting. It's kind of a cute little dinosaur toy. And then next thing you know, they showed up in my house, and I don't remember ever ordering them or anything of the sort, but clearly I must have in my half-asleep, bad decision-making state, and we now have some pullback dinosaur scooters. And I really don't know what to expect out of this, but they're interesting, that's for sure. They almost look kind of Jurassic worldish. Certainly this one has a strong resemblance to like a bumpy style Ankylosaurus, but I can already tell that these are definitely not going to be everyone's cup of tea. However, you can see again, they are definitely interesting. The packaging basically shows off the different dinosaurs that are contained within. There are four, it looks like. I guess the four that are on the front here. And then again, you can see they're actually bobbleheads, and they pull back and kind of, take off, I guess. Nothing really on the underside, but definitely intriguing. So to open these up, I guess we just pull this up, and they're literally just sitting in here. There's nothing really going on with them, so let's pull them out. We've got ourselves a Triceratops, as well as a Velociraptor, kind of like a Velociraptor blue, but very different as far as the coloration goes, but like the patterning you can see is very clearly based on Velociraptor blue. We've also got a T-Rex, and then the Ankylosaurus I was just mentioning, which very much so looks like Bumpy the Ankylosaurus. But honestly, right out of the box, I will say that they actually look pretty decently detailed for what they are, and kind of cute, I guess, but I don't think if I was in the right state of mind I would have ordered these. I think if I had found them somewhere for really cheap, maybe I would have snagged them, but actually ordering them probably wasn't the best decision. They are definitely interesting, and I don't know that we need like a proper closer look like we normally would get for something like this. I basically just wanted to make this review to show them off to you guys. It's not even really much of a real thorough review, but as you can see, when you look at the Ankylosaurus, it's actually pretty decently sculpted. Like, it does have some nice looking detail to it, and you can see the nostrils sculpted out. You've got the classic bumpy bluish tones. It doesn't have the smaller horn though, so it's obviously not like an actual bumpy. You can see the tongue is sculpted and painted there on the inside of the mouth, and the Ankylosaurus kind of can go up like this, so if you really want him to be like flying on his scooter, you could, I guess, position him like that. Oh wow, look at that, we can actually get him to do a handstand on there, and it stays. That's actually kind of crazy. I did not expect that. Talk about a crazy way to display them. So very clearly you can move them. I don't know if you can take them off. I mean, I'm sure you could, because they're just kind of loose in there, but I feel like you'd have to break the scooter to actually do it, so maybe not the best idea, but you can see there's a lighter tone that moves along the underside of the Ankylosaurus. We do actually have the nails all painted out with a dark variation of a brown, same deal for the nails in the feet, and you've got a little club tail back here. The armored kind of scoots and stuff are all painted with a light tone. Same deal for the ones up there on the head with the spikes and stuff. The eye actually even has a gloss coat added to it, which is pretty crazy, pretty impressive. And then the scooter itself actually has Dinosaur Scooter on it, and that's interesting. You can even see a little artwork there for it, which is pretty cool, actually. It's nice to see that, even though it's just something that's really goofy, the creators of these figures did actually put a little effort into them, which is neat. And again, the head is a bobblehead, kind of. Can't really articulate. I mean, it moves, but it'll flop right back. But it doesn't really bounce very much, even though it says bobblehead. It's kind of stable. But I don't know. I guess that's just not very... Let's see if he moves. Yeah, kind of the same thing, where they're really stable, and it sort of is a bobblehead, but it doesn't really move very much, and I don't think it's going to really move when we actually, zoom the scooter by, but I guess we'll see. The Triceratops is in a little bit of a different pose. It looks like he's kind of kicking as he's going, whereas the Ankylosaurus was just standing totally still on his. You can see the eye, yet again, has a nice gloss coat to it, which is actually surprising that they would go to the lengths of adding something like that to the figure. You can see we've got some variations of greens and browns here in the face up into the frill. You have a black that kind of circles around the eye. You have a pink for the inside of the mouth, a little sloppy as you can see it running up onto the beak right there, but I guess it's not the end of the world. It's also a dinosaur on a scooter, so it doesn't need to be a masterpiece. The horns are all painted with a gray, and you can't even see detail within the horns. So again, the creators of these figures did actually put some effort into them to give us at least kind of decently detailed versions of these ridiculous scooter riding dinosaurs. You can't even see muscle definition and everything as you move down into the legs of the Triceratops. The nails are painted with a light gray, and again, we've got a nice curve to the tail here. I just knocked him over. Let's see if he can balance up there. I don't know. So the Ankylosaurus could, but I don't think the Triceratops is going to be able to. Oh, look at that. We got him balanced right there. So, I mean, I don't know. One little bump into the table, I think he's going to fall. Maybe I'm wrong. He does go back down. Actually landed on the scooter, so he almost can do a trick on his own. They look like all the scooters are the same color, though. And then you've got yourself the Velociraptor, which again, the Velociraptor has some decent sculpt work, kind of looking like a Jurassic Park raptor, sort of. The eye paint, though, is really quite sloppy for the raptor, much worse than we saw on either of the two vegetarians in this group. And you can see, again, the teeth are all sculpted out, they're all painted. They have the skin stretching there on the inside of the mouth, painted with a pink. You can see the nostrils up there. The tongue is sculpted out in there, also painted with a pink. A little sloppy as far as that paintwork goes, though. The teeth aren't half bad as far as the paintwork goes. I'm surprised by that. I actually expected those to be really sloppy. The eye is definitely sloppy. It's kind of like a slit-like pupil, but not perfectly painted. The body color of the raptor is gray. You have a red kind of running through the eye and striping down the body, similar to Velociraptor Blue, where you would have a blue stripe. This one has a red stripe, and then you have like purple running along the top of the raptor and moving down along through the body down into the tail. You can see the nails are painted. A little bit of like extra material, it looks like, on them, like they're just kind of like jumbled, and you can really see that the sickle claw isn't painted perfectly, so they're definitely not the best painted figures I've seen, but I like that they're all in different positions, like as far as the legs go, although the T-Rex and Raptor look like they're pretty similar, but just a little bit of difference as far as the positioning goes for the Raptor. You also have like a yellowish green that runs along the underside of the Raptor as well. And then we've got ourselves the T-Rex, and the T-Rex almost has like a Papo T-Rex sort of look. I was trying to establish if maybe these are some kind of crazy bootlegs that are turned into these, but I can't really pick out exactly where I would have seen any of these as far as the sculpts go. Like this one probably is the closest I can imagine would be like the Papo T-Rex, but even that's not a definite. And considering there are so many Jurassic Park style T-Rex figures out nowadays, it would be really hard to kind of iron out exactly where it would have come from if it were in fact a bootleg. But you can see the tongue sculpted out on the inside of the mouth of this one. Again, you can see the teeth are sculpted out. They're all painted with a white or a light grayish tone, and the eye as well is painted with a yellow, given a black pupil. Much nicer paintwork for the eye on this one compared to the Raptor. The coloration isn't really any different for the skin stretching there on the inside of the mouth, though. It's basically just like the orangish tone that we have for the face of the T-Rex, and then you have like a dark blue moving along the top of the head down along the body, which I actually really quite like the colors of this. I think that would look nice on a real nice looking T-Rex model. But again, the detailing is pretty decent on it, like it's pretty crisp. And you have the nails painted again. You've got scoots moving down the toes. You have like a line of small ridges kind of following along the spinal column, or like osteoderms or something like that. Nice curve there down there in that tiny little tail. And there is a little sloppiness of something over here on the side, but that's really about it. And again, the Rex almost looks like it's in the process, like the Triceratops, of kind of kicking and moving its scooter along, but kind of not really touching the ground. And it's also in a little bit of a different position. You can see that the Triceratops is back a little bit further. So let's actually just go ahead and give one of these a shot and see how good it moves. So not very good, but we also didn't go back very far. Let's start all the way on here on the other side of the table. We'll wind it up all the way over. That's about as far as it goes. And he wrecked. So yes, he actually does move pretty nicely. He went flying pretty good. Let's just go ahead and wind him up again. You can hear a nice little spurt of energy, I guess, from the scooter. So again, not something that I really wanted to give you guys a good thorough review on, but something that I just kind of wanted to show you because I, for some crazy reason, apparently ordered these, and I thought once they actually arrived that maybe it would make a fun video. I guess I'll give you guys a size and a comparison. They're all pretty much the same size, roughly, so height-wise, you're looking at closing in on about 4¼ inches, or just under 11 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Clovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect A Human Being. I don't feel like we really need to do more comparisons past this point. Just one comparison to kind of give you an idea of the size. I really feel like that's all that's needed. One thing I will say, though, is when you actually bring in Mr. Papo Rex, now the T-Rex from the scooters, version here does not at all look like Mr. Papo T-Rex anymore. So I don't know where my brain was coming up with that information before. But again, you can see that they're not big, but they're not tiny either. So like I said, not really much to be said about these guys, but they're interesting, and I felt like they were funny enough to show you guys here on the channel. If you'd like to order some of these for yourself, I'll include a link in the description where I stupidly ordered these from while I was half asleep on Amazon.com, and you can grab a set and add them to your collection. Honestly, now that I actually have them out of the packaging and here in front of me, I actually like them a whole lot more than I was expecting to, so I guess maybe it's not the worst idea to shop on Amazon when you're half asleep. Then again, it's also not the best. One way or another, if you want them, check the link in the description, grab them, I guess, and add them to your collection, and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.